Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Holscher. I'm the intake coordinator at Inland Empire Couples Counseling, and this is our amazing therapist, Jackie Fleetstra, and she is here today to talk with us about resolving family conflict during the holidays, Thanksgiving in particular, since that's coming up soon. I'm going to be asking her some questions. The first question is, how would I handle family conflict during the holidays?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, first, I think you need to acknowledge how the family conflict or the drama personally affects you. You just need to check in with yourself and ask, how does that drama or that conflict make you feel? Is it anger? Is it sadness, disappointment? But once you see its impact on you, you can decide how you want to manage those feelings, right? So, um, maybe you need to increase your self care, or you need to set some boundaries, or maybe you even want to confront your family about the conflict or the drama that's going on. But to help, to determine whether or not to confront your family and or have that difficult conversation, I would ask yourself two questions. First, ask yourself, what do I actually want to say? And then two, what can I realistically expect their response to be? If they aren't an emotionally safe person to talk to, you might get a response from them that is dismissive, belittling. Maybe it judges you or even makes you feel criticized. Um, but side note, if you do decide to have this conversation with your family, I would recommend setting up a time to do this, preferably before the holiday festivities. Once the festivities begin, it can be really complicated with all the family gathered or just the preparations that go into the day. And the emotions are usually on high. So it can be really difficult to have a calm and uninterrupted, conversation.
Thank you. What can we do when we've set those boundaries, but maybe our family member isn't respecting them?
Oh yeah, this can be really tough for some people. So first, I recommend that you do what I'm about to say calmly, because if you're elevated, you will more than likely get a response that is elevated. So once you're calm, communicate to that person what the boundary is again. I know this can be frustrating or difficult to be confrontational, but it's possible that they may have crossed the line or broken that boundary because you weren't clear with what the boundary was in the first place. Next, after you kind of clarify or reinstate the boundary, you may want to let them know what the consequences are if they continue to cross that line or disrespect your boundary. So for you, keep in mind that your boundary isn't to punish them, it's to protect yourself. So some consequences that I may recommend would look like walking away from the conversation, or even if you felt like you needed to, you could even leave the party, or if you're hosting, you may need to ask that person to leave.
Yeah, that can be really tough, choosing not to engage, even though everything in you is telling you need to, but you know that this isn't the time or place.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So how would you go about removing yourself or diffusing conflict?
Yeah. Okay. So before you even go to the holiday festivities or have people over, it's really good to remind yourself that during the holidays, conflict is almost certain to happen. Without fail, the food gets burned, your opinionated uncle keeps talking politics, or maybe the kids are fighting over the same toy that they don't want to share, right? Like when you gather people together, especially people that you don't normally live life with, you are bound to see people struggle to get along. So if you can go into the holidays with this in mind, you can be mentally and emotionally prepared, and not caught by surprise when conflict does pop up. So
Mhm.
removing that surprise will help you remain calm and able to decide how to handle the conflict. So in that example, if the food is burned, you can remain calm and think of a backup option to serve something else. Your uncle
Mhm.
starts talking politics again, you can remain calm and excuse yourself to the bathroom. The kids are fighting over that same toy again, you can distract them with a new toy or a new game or just a different activity. The key thing here is, if you can remain in charge of your response, which is to remain calm, you'll be able to diffuse the conflict, and decide which action you need to take care of yourself and or just the others around you.
say you've been confronted by a family member, they're noticing that like, hey, you seem really standoffish, like, what's the problem? How would you resolve that conflict without burning bridges with that family member?
Yeah. So as I was kind of mentioning just a second ago, is when you're in conflict, the main thing you want to do is just to remain calm. If you are elevated, like I said, you are bound to get a response that is elevated. Um, and so if something really hurts you or upsets you, you may need to walk away and kind of cool off and address the conflict at a later time.
Mhm.
You get to choose how you respond. So yeah, if they're approaching you and they're wanting to resolve the conflict right then and there, make sure that you are good. And if you're not, just say, hey, let's revisit this at another time. But yeah, if you are feeling calm and able to resolve the conflict, I really recommend that you enter that conversation with a lot of curiosity.
Mhm.
And curiosity will help you feel like, or help them feel like you are, not attacking them or justifying your position. Um,
Mhm.
it'll make them feel like you genuinely want to know what their hurt is or understand what the problem is. So some questions you can ask, like to be curious, is what is the most painful part of this for you? Another one is what is your need in this situation? Or another one could be like how can I support you right now? Um,
Mhm.
and so it's not a time for you to try and justify yourself, counterattack, or you make your argument. It's just to gain an understanding of what's going on for them and how you could help. So yeah, if you can better understand the problem and show them that you care, you'll probably be able to resolve the conflict.
Get a much better response than
Yeah.
yelling or having that person be upset with you.
Right. Right.
Um, so outside of self-care, how could we take care of ourselves during the holidays? I mean, you could also include self-care, but what are some examples of things we could do?
Yeah. This is really important because sometimes in the holidays, we're so preoccupied with meeting everyone else's needs that we forget about our own. So, yeah, to care for yourself, I mean, I think first you just need to know what comes up for you during the holidays. For a lot of people, even though it can be filled with a lot of joy and celebration, for a lot of people, it can be filled with a lot of grief and or disappointment. So you really just need to check in yourself and just kind of ask yourself, like, what are the things I'm excited about or looking forward to? And also, like, what are the things that might come up or that I might be confronted with that's hard? And it's okay that you have these different parts of you that, maybe on one hand you feel excited, and then parts of you that feel unhappy or, nervous to manage some of these hard feelings that come up. Um, and then once you kind of check in with yourself and see like what's going on for you, what are those emotions that are present, you can then better decide what or how to manage them, right? And so,
Mhm.
yeah, if you're feeling like you're unhappy or that you're overwhelmed or disappointed, you can, some of that self care that I think you were asking about can just look like maybe you need to pick up or continue journaling, talk to a close or trusted friend, treat yourself, go get a nice coffee and enjoy the sunrise. Like
Mhm.
there's so many ways you can do self care, but the key thing is like you need to do what um, feels good for you, right? And be
Mhm.
intentional about being present with those emotions and processing them in a way um, that is kind to yourself.
That kind of ties back into setting those boundaries and being open about, hey, this is what I'm comfortable with, and making sure that you're checking in with yourself. Like, these are the things that bring me joy. I need to make sure that I'm making this a priority during this otherwise pretty tough time of the
Yeah,
year. So,
absolutely.
okay, awesome. So, another thing that I think a lot of people would want to know is how can we support our partners during the holiday season? Something that really comes to mind for me is, um, I'm with my husband and we're at my family's house where that's not his primary family. How can I better support them?
Yeah, I think in general, when you have a partner and you're trying to like figure out how you navigate the holidays, I think the best way to like start um, supporting your partner or helping your partner throughout the holidays is just understanding what the holidays mean for them, right? Like getting to know what are their thoughts and feelings about the holidays, what are their expectations or family obligations. And when you have that fuller picture of what the holidays mean for them, or what they expect from them, you'll be able to, work together to support your partner and maybe discuss like your priorities so that you can come to a compromise where each of you feel like your needs are being met. And also like setting boundaries together, like maybe maybe the holidays are really difficult for your partner, and their primary family or their family of origin is really a sensitive subject, and they want to spend time with family, they value spending time with family, but maybe they just need help creating boundaries to protect themselves a little bit more during the holidays.
Is something Rebecca and I had talked about yesterday when we were discussing how to set boundaries was being communicative with your partner beforehand about, hey, this is what I need from you, and I need this to be respected. And then during that time is having that physical support from your partner. A lot of people don't realize that just having this person you trust, this person you love, just next to you, holding your hand, or just knowing they're right there, it helps so much in ways that you don't even realize.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think when you have a better understanding of your partner's needs, you can, like you said, like, would a hug help? Would me sitting next to you at your family that's really difficult? Like, what if we just held hands to show that I'm here with you in this and that you're not alone handling this by yourself? Right. So, yeah, I think you make a good point that, like, even just physical touch can be a really helpful way to support your partner.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jackie. If you are watching this and you think that you need help, because I mean, at the end of the day, setting boundaries and resolving conflict is a skill. It's something that you need to work at. It doesn't come naturally. So that's what we do here at Inland Empire Couples Counseling. And you can visit us at our website, or you can call us and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.